Brian does not have a microphone on yet. Perfect. Trustee Sebring, we don't see a microphone for you. Oh, good. Mrs. Sebring's helping. We're good. So you got your camera on? Your camera's off. Okay, turn that on. Sue? No.
That please wait thing
Oh, for your camera?
for the whole site.
Oh, we hear you. You sound great.
Do you want me to try to come in again? I can't see anything. I just have the screen that showed me the link, and there's a little black box that says, please wait, and there's a little wheel that's spinning, so I don't think I'm totally in there.
Yeah, it's just the video part's not coming up for you yet.
Do you want me to go out and try to come in again?
Yeah, you can try one more time to connect. We'll wait for you. Thank you.
Okay. That looks better. You hear me?
Oh, I hear you great. Just don't see you.
Let me push this little button. I just have no clue.
There you go. Hey. Nice. All right.
You like the fan?
Oh, nice ceiling shot.
Thanks. Okay, everybody rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, everybody here?
Almost.
Yeah.
Getting Brian back in.
Okay.
Still no microphone.
I'm trying to.
Brian's mic's connecting now, but everyone, all the board members are here. Dave Donovan, our attorney. I'm here with the clerk and the treasurer, both in my room.
Okay, how is this working with the public hearing for the budget? Are people in the community allowed to speak? They can come in and speak?
No, the community's submitting comments as we go live on Facebook and submitting to the clerk via email or in writing.
Okay. All right. You want a motion to open the public hearing for the 2021 budget?
Yes, please.
I'll make that motion to open the hearing.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All
I
in
just have
favor?
a quick question. We, for clarification, we'll be keeping this open for 10 days, correct? To allow people to submit?
That's correct. Dave?
So because the budget needs to actually be adopted by May 1, be a few days late for that, the public notice indicated that the comments on the budget were going to be accepted till 5 days. The feeling was if we had any comments that needed to be incorporated in the budget, that we had ample time to do that. If you wish to amend it, you have the right to do that, but the public notice says 5 days.
I'm fine with 5 days.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Abstaining? Motion carried. Okay, so John, you gave us the final paperwork on this?
We gave you an update. You should have, it's 4 pages. It's really the updated as of yesterday.
Okay, I'm looking. Okay, so do any board members have any questions? What did you come up with finally? We asked you to sharpen everybody's pencils, so that's the documentation you sent us?
Yes, with the numbers that were approved by the board on all those items as well. As of 4/20, there was some small shortages, but we had also given estimates for the fund balances and the increases after this year as well.
Okay, so where are you right now?
So if you go to the 4th page of that document, it says 2020, 2021 changes at the top.
Okay,
This one?
I want to know where we are with the number.
Okay. So as of right now in the A fund, you would need 35,422 in fund balance to balance and make the tax cap. 4,779 in the water fund to balance, and 25,900 in sewer fund to balance.
Okay, so you're suggesting we use fund balance for that?
I would. There's 2 items that we'll likely discuss in exec that may play a role in the A fund, but that's the only fund that would be affected by that.
Okay, any board members have any questions for the manager?
The email that we got on 4/16, that's what I'm looking at. Is that not what we're supposed to be looking at? Because the numbers weren't the same.
17, Friday.
Friday night.
You got it Friday night. Sorry.
And he might not have heard you that there's small differences.
So what's the total that has to come out of fund balance? Just so everybody can hear it and knows.
A fund, 35,422. Water fund, which
35,422.
water fund, which is F fund, 4,779. G fund, which is sewer, 25,900.
Okay, Dan, you got the right document now?
I actually don't. I'm looking through my email and I don't see it, but I took notes on what he said, so I'm fine with that.
Okay. Okay, do you have anything else, Dan, that you want to
No, thank you.
talk? Okay. Lynn, you got anything?
No.
John Ramos?
No, I do not.
Brian Sebring? Brian Sebring?
No.
Larry?
Hold on, Larry. There you go.
All right. You said we have to take out 80 grand. Where's that at? I don't see that.
That's before we did the adjustments that we did the other night, the last budget session. They reduced that down a lot.
Okay. Where'd you take it from?
You took it.
I'm sorry?
You guys took it. That was approved from different areas. There was a couple different ones. It's on this sheet that came out on Friday that got emailed to you.
Okay.
There was some adjustments in revenue and some adjustments in expenses.
All right. Right here, the preliminary cap, you're saying.
I'm not sure which one you're looking at.
Oh, the one you just gave me, the recent one.
Yep.
Yeah, estimated cost, estimated general.
He's looking at capital.
No, it's capital.
No, it's capital?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Then where is it? The 21st, okay.
It should be from Friday,
The 21st.
17th.
The 17th, I don't see that on. The 17th is right here, which I got. Yeah, the A fund, the F fund, the G fund. Balance still needs 39 grand. You got here, balance still needs 39 grand. Where'd you pull it from? 25 from the A fund?
No, 39. That's all A fund, and that's as
Okay.
of. There was a small adjustment in healthcare since then. It makes it 35,422. There's a
Okay.
correction.
Okay,
That's
so where are you
what
gonna get the other,
fund balance for.
where are you gonna get the other 50 from then?
What other 50?
The 50 grand?
I don't know what other. There's no other 50. It's 35,422 now.
Oh, okay. That's what it is? All right.
Yes.
I got
It
you.
was 39,065, and there was another adjustment to healthcare because there was a person that changed, so it's now 35,422.
And just to
Okay.
answer that question, we're going to pull that 35 out of the general fund.
Fund balance.
Okay.
That's
Yep.
the proposal right now. If we don't make any adjustments after exec.
So are you still, I guess the question came up the other night, and I guess what I would like to know is, I know you have to kind of go through a crystal ball, but are you confident in your sales tax revenue estimate?
We took out a bunch from this current year and the next year as well, a portion.
Doesn't answer my question. What level of confidence do you have with that estimate that, because there are board members that are concerned that you're being overly optimistic with the sales tax revenue number? That was mentioned the other night.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they would have pessimism from. I mean, the numbers are pretty straightforward. We took a 50% reduction on the current and future sales tax revenue, which is probably more than what we need to, but
Okay, that's what I was asking, if you're confident in that number and the revenue line.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
Question.
Okay.
Question. John, do we get any funds from the county and the state?
For what?
From anything, from
Yeah,
any
we
fund?
do. We get lots of funds from both.
Okay, now, with everything going on, how are you certain we're gonna get those funds this year and next year?
I'm not, so we reduced that, what we're supposed to get. Sales tax we get from the county.
Well, yeah, that. I mean, other funds on top of that. On
The
top of
other
that.
funds are already guaranteed funds
Uh-huh.
from allocations already done. So if there's other money that we would anticipate getting after next year, that would be a problem. Because they're not approved yet. They'd be approved during this year when all the hardship's going on.
Right.
Stuff we're gonna get this year was approved last year. Like CHIPS funding, that kind of stuff has been approved already.
Yeah. It's just, the challenges that are going to come up now, because a lot of people aren't working, even though they're getting income from unemployment and the feds. However, that's going to end someday. And then who knows if they're going to have their job, if business is going to reopen. We don't know. We're going uncharted waters here.
Correct? But the governor still wants us to put our budget in regardless.
Well,
He's
I
given us
understand.
no leeway and no time extensions.
No, I understand that, but we have to look at that too. It's just
Yes.
it's a tough call.
Yeah,
It
you don't
is,
want to
and
keep overtaxing
that's,
people.
and that's why you're guesstimating, so that's why we're taking fund balance and we're applying it to try to make everything work. Everybody's in the same boat.
Well, I
Nobody
know.
knows what's gonna happen, but we still have to try to formulate a budget that keeps the village running.
I understand that 100%.
Well,
Now-
and don't forget that once we approve this budget, whatever that number is, the manager has to make it work. So if something happens within that budget year, then he's got to make the tough call about, okay, now how do we make that amount of money work? You can't change the tax rate. You can't change the amount of the budget. All you can do is move things around to make that number work. That's what he gets paid for. And if he's confident in the numbers that he has before him, then he's got to make it work.
I got you. I understand that. Now, will this be under the tax bracket, tax cut, whatever you call it?
If we use the fund balance, we're under the tax cap. That's correct.
John, I know last year we got off the fiscally stressed list, correct?
Yes.
If we use the fund balance, will we continue to stay off?
Yep, absolutely.
And
We're
what
still
if we,
gaining fund balance, even using what we're talking about using. We're still
Right.
increasing.
and what if we lose an extra $150,000 in sales tax and we have to take that out of the fund balance as well? Do you still think we would be sitting there
So
and not stressed?
I would not take it all out of fund balance. We would have to make other cuts through the year to make it balanced. But if we had to use some, we could still use some and still be under.
Okay.
That was what my question was when it got to me, was if we can just verify, because that was the question we asked in the last budget session, was what the fund balance projected was to be. So can we publicly say that for the public's?
Yeah, we can
knowledge?
post it as well.
Okay, I would
Right.
like that.
That's the same one
But-
I have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So projected fund balance at the end of this current budget year for general fund is $825,492. For water is $505,157, and for sewer is $401,740.
So with taking these suggested amounts out of each fund, we are still adding to that, to the fund balance this
For the
year.
general fund, we will likely to the water and sewer. We just didn't project it out because we're ahead of the game on those.
Agreed. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, anybody else have anything for the manager, Lynn? Anybody? Okay. Are any questions coming through, John?
I don't see any on Facebook, and we didn't get any in the email yet, but it's still open for 5 days. So if we get any, we'll let you know.
Okay. All right, so we're leaving this public hearing open?
No, you would be closing the public hearing, subject to the 5-day written comment.
Okay. If there's nothing else from anyone, then do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
I just have a question, Mayor. So in that 5-day period, any written questions, we technically, since it's just public hearing and it's comment, we're not required to answer them. We're just required to receive them, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I will make that motion to close the public hearing.
Just really quick. Facebook is like 30 to 45 seconds behind on us. Can we just wait that 30 seconds to see if anyone, because what we're saying now is significantly behind actually.
We're watching live on Facebook as well.
Yeah, I know, I'm watching and we're behind. That's why I was just trying to make sure that everyone was hearing that that's going to happen before and able to make a comment if they want to live. All right. I just saw what I just said, so, and I don't see anything. I apologize. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay,
So my
Who
motion
seconded?
still stands.
who seconded, anyone?
I'll second.
second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstaining? Okay, motion carried. Public hearing, local law 2 of 2020 tax levy override. You want a motion to open that public hearing?
Yes, please.
I'll make that motion to open that public hearing.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstaining? Motion carried. Now, John, we do this every year just in case, correct?
Yep, but we will not need it to pass it this year, so you are more than welcome to discuss it. But my recommendation would be not to pass it.
Okay. Does anybody have a problem with that?
None here.
No.
No.
Nope.
Can you check and see if there's any, I guess are we still that amount of time behind, Dan?
Yeah, we've been that far behind the entire time, but I just really wanted to wait for public comment because that's when they can participate. But for this, I think we're good.
Okay. Motion to close the public hearing on local law 2 of 2020.
Motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstaining? Motion carried. Okay, approval of minutes. Do you want us to take these one at a time, John?
You can.
Okay, approval of minutes, March 31st, 2020. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstaining? Motion carried. Motion for April 7th, 2020.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstaining? Motion carried. Okay, business of the Board of Trustees, 2021 village budget. You want a motion to adopt?
No, because we still have the 5-day written comment period for both items A and B.
Okay, so are we gonna have to have, because this has to be, when is our next meeting?
It's going to be late. Be May 5th. Cinco de Mayo.
Oh,
Right? No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's Tuesday?
Yeah.
So
so do
state
we
law,
have? Go ahead, I'm sorry, Dave.
right. So state law requires adoption by May 1. There is no adverse consequence, though, that will happen, especially given the current circumstances. But in any event, there's no consequence if you're a few days late. So May 5th would not be a problem.
Okay. Good. So we don't need B?
Correct.
Okay, so we have resolution 1919-20 budget transfer. John and Kelly?
Yep. Okay, so as you know, as we go through the year, there's different accounts that go up or down, as we'll do again next year, depending on the needs of the village, to be adjusted. We've had several. We'll probably have one more for year end. But just to get things up to speed, most of these won't change again, but some of them might, like adjustments in electricity for gas instead. Education instead of publication, and different things that were able to be adjusted. There's a couple pages of them, just so you know.
Yeah, that's what you sent us, the transfers 421.
Yes. There's nothing too crazy in here. Legal miscellaneous is up because we still have 2 contracts being negotiated. We had a couple disciplinary matters, so more than anticipated. Hopefully we finish those contracts, and next year we won't have to make those adjustments. We'll be adjusting the other way. And there was part-time police went down, but full-time overtime was up a little bit, so that was adjusted, about 15,000. And that's the big stuff, really. Any questions on any of those? There's a couple lists there.
Yeah, I'm just going through the, does anybody have any questions about any of these transfers?
No.
No.
Nope.
I'd like to just point out that we do itemize our budget much more than we're required to, which is the purpose for having to do these budget transfers on a regular basis. And just thanks for keeping us in the loop and approving them.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have any questions on those? So you want a motion to adopt resolution 191920?
Please.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Motion carried. Okay, Memorial Day Parade request. Everybody has a copy of that. I guess we'll approve it, and if anything changes, then that can be changed, John?
Yes, and hopefully, and even if they do have it, they should be able to social distance enough in the parade route. It's not too packed to be able to continue if they need to.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
If it can, John, any concern that violates the executive order on non-essential gatherings?
This is after that date, so I'm not sure. We'll see when that comes up if it's extended.
Okay.
'Cause this is
25th of May.
Memorial Day. On Memorial Day, the 25th of May. So it's beyond that date as of right now.
So
Please,
should we approve this contingent upon that being lifted to give us the opportunity to be able to change it if we need to?
Contingent on it not being extended, yes.
I'll make that motion with that exception.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstaining?
I
Motion
have to
carried.
abstain. Oh, I have to
Who's
abstain.
abstaining?
Ramos.
Okay. Okay, E, liaison positions, John?
Yeah, I was asked to place it on the agenda again. So I'm not sure if those trustees want to take the lead, but I don't know if Trustee Thompson wants to start.
Yeah, I asked, excuse me, I asked if this could be placed on the agenda a while ago, but we didn't make our required cutoff for getting things on the agenda. We visited this, we had discussion about this, and it sort of fell by the wayside. And I just think that perhaps it's time to revisit again and make a decision. I mean, I just still feel very strongly that we should redefine the roles of the liaison. And I know there's a few other board members who were thinking about that. So I would just like to bring this up again. I mean, we had a committee. There were lots of notes. There were lots of suggestions, and then just sort of petered out. Like it just did not get resolved one way or the other.
Okay, so do you want to revisit what your concerns are?
My concerns are that I just am not really comfortable with people on the board getting so involved with the daily operations in the various departments in our village. And I thought the discussion was we were going to try and do more of a perhaps community outreach so that people on the board were more in tune to the various activities and organizations and what their needs and wants were throughout the village.
And how would that, I'm not processing that as a liaison. So instead of being liaison to departments, you wanted to be a liaison to the community.
Yes, does no one recall those conversations?
Well,
I mean-
it's been a while, so it's nice to get my memory refreshed, I guess.
So
Okay.
I'm totally unprepared note-wise to have this conversation tonight, and I apologize for that. But I do have a lot of notes from when we talked about this at last time that if we're so willing to have this conversation, I will bring those notes to the next meeting.
Yeah, there was discussions of, like, for example, economic development, community groups. There was different ones that were listed there. The town was another one.
The
Different board.
idea behind it when we discussed it last was to get away from board members having an appearance of having control of department heads and leaving that with the village manager, who is essentially in charge of the department heads, and board members taking a lead in other areas in the community. But I will put those notes together and have it ready for the next meeting.
Can we make sure that Cheryl and Willie are included in this? Because they're the ones that are gonna have to deal with this, I think. Because we're having the election, I think it's June now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to know their thoughts on it. Is it June?
Well, Marissa had the meeting with the elections, but they did not confirm a date.
Okay, because the last I saw was June, so I'm assuming it's gonna be then. Are there any provisions? I mean, I know that the governor's tried to do a lot of things, but I mean, we're gonna have, if it, let's say it's June, there's not a lot of time for new board members to get up to speed. Usually they take office in April.
Correct.
And, you know, they've got some time under their belts to deal with a new fiscal year. And did he make any provisions about that? Or
No.
I
None.
don't think we can let them into executive session. I don't, you know, it's
Well.
because there hasn't been an election.
Your executive session is your executive session. You are permitted to invite anyone you want into those, but I understand your concern there.
Can I make a comment about this liaison thing? When all of us were first newly elected to the board, we had no input about any of this liaison stuff. We knew nothing about it. We were informed about what it was and what we could possibly do once we took office. So I don't understand the concern, I guess, for Willie and Cheryl, because that's never been a concern before.
Because this is extenuating circumstances, they would be in on this discussion, or they would have been talked to about it. They would have known about it. I didn't have an opportunity to speak to them at all. So you're asking people to, you know, you're gonna make a decision about something that's gonna impact two people that are sitting here now that are making the decision that's gonna impact two people after the fact. I just thought it would be a courtesy to allow them some kind of discussion. You know, we're doing the budget normally after an election. You know, they're given budgets. I've invited people to sit at the table and talk about a budget in the past. I just felt like it was a courtesy to people that are gonna have to jump in after an election and there's no downtime, so to speak.
There's no issue with the sharing information with the two other people that are planning to be trustees for after the election.
So
Definitely
if
share
it's the
notes.
pleasure of the rest of the board, while I gather my notes from stuff that we've talked about in the past, to reach out to both of them and get their thoughts and opinions, as well as reach out to the rest of the board members and kind of refresh memories and rehash conversations so that we can have a clear, precise conversation at the next board meeting, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah, I'd like to look back and see what I have. When I opened up the agenda, it was there.
Yeah, and honestly, when I agreed to be the second to put this on the agenda, it was before a lot of this craziness that honestly, I forgot about it. So that's why I was completely not prepared to speak about it tonight. With the budget and everything else, that was more of my concern. So I, will be happy to get all of that together and be more prepared to have a clear and concise conversation at the next board meeting.
Thank you.
Is that agreeable to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Payment, anything else?
No.
Payment of audited bills, motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstaining? Motion carried. Correspondence, Dan? Dan?
Sorry, I got a couple emails about the budget, but that was it.
Okay. Larry?
Yeah, same here. A couple of emails about the budget. That's all.
Lynn?
Same emails about the budget, and I also received a few messages about potential price gouging at our gas stations in the village of Walden.
Did you tell them that there's information out there where they can?
I did. I directed them to the Orange County website where all those numbers are, and I also spoke to John, who told me that it was getting looked into, and apparently the numbers, the prices for gas in our village are within the normal limits.
Okay. Anything else, Lynn?
No.
Faith?
Emails regarding correspondence on the budget, a few emails and conversations and questions regarding bulk pickup. And that's pretty much it.
John Ramos?
Just emails about the budget, same emails that everybody else got.
Brian Sebring?
Same thing as everybody else.
Okay, me too. All right, miscellaneous comments from the Board of Trustees. Dan?
Just hearing about bulk pickup, I know a lot of people go around to look through stuff. If I know that the virus can stay on surfaces for up to 5 days, I'm hearing. So just be careful, put gloves on. But we are still having it, correct, John?
That's correct.
Okay. That's it.
Okay. Larry?
No, I don't have anything.
Lynn?
No.
Faith?
I just want to say thank you to all of our village employees and our department heads for continuing to work through this and keeping the village on track, and mostly to all of our residents for sticking together and getting through these crazy times as we have.
Okay, thanks. John Ramos?
I would like to commend the Valley Central School District for providing lunches for all the WES and all the students of Valley Central. They have constantly provided meals on an everyday basis. Now it's Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday with the double meal coming on Monday and Thursday. But have the children engaged in their daily scholastic abilities by using their Chromebooks. Teachers are engaging the students. I know this is a trying time, but they're definitely doing a phenomenal job, and I'd like to commend them. Thank you.
Brian Sebring?
Nothing.
Okay, yeah. I've had a lot of compliments from members of the community about, you know, that our personnel are still working, they're there. Very helpful when the need arises. So thank you to everybody for sticking to the schedule and coming into work and getting it done for the village of Walden. Okay, do we need executive session?
John, are we on a secure site? We've got to do it right here?
We will. We just have to take off live feed and record.
Okay, so as I understand from the agenda, it's to discuss the personal history of a particular person?
Correct.
I'll make
That
a
would be,
motion
yeah.
for
Thank you.
executive session.
Did you just make a motion, Faith? I didn't even get a chance to, okay.
Sorry, ma'am.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Abstaining, motion carried. John, just tell us when,
Yep. You'll have to just wait a second. Yep.
okay.
What's this one? One second.
Hey.
Yep, we're good.
Tito.
We're recording.
Okay, go ahead, Faith.
My question just was, are there any appointments that need to be made based on, 2-year or 1-year appointments that were made at the last reorg meeting that we would need to do prior to elections when we were able to do that? We're good?
Nope. All of those have been extended by the same executive order.
Perfect.
Right, Dave?
And I'm not
Right,
sure.
official year, yeah, that's correct. Leave it at that. That's
Thank you.
correct.
I'm not sure if anyone else has gotten comments, but a lot of people that I've seen have actually really enjoyed watching these meetings online. There were just 24 people watching live, and I think most of the budget sessions got over 700 views. I think that it would be worth a discussion with the new board or now to consider when we do return, figuring something out on how to push this stuff out, because we've got a lot more engagement. If we even had 24 people at a board meeting, we would be thrilled with how much engagement that was. So I think we need to really have a good discussion on that.
I agree. And I think I did mention that in the last budget session, that I would like to find $20,000 to be able to do that. That would include about $7,000 worth of upgrades to technology in the building, which comes from the estimate that you and I talked about, Dan, and then an estimate that was sent to the village manager from acquisitions marketing regarding doing some live streaming of our meetings. It'd be about 21,000 we would have to find to be able to do that. So it's a conversation we can have whenever the board wants to have it.
Okay, is there anything else?
And just, I want to make sure everyone got the capital projects lists for prioritization. I tried to go over those as well as I could with department heads. I could not get Queen on today to talk about them. But
You
hopefully,
broke up, John, on my end. What did you just say? You
capital
tried to get
projects,
what? You tried to get who?
Queenan.
Oh, okay.
But I did go over them with department heads to try and prioritize as well as we could. Our same limits, so the same as every year, 500,000, 250, 250 for water and sewer. It really just depends on what Schoolfist comes back to us with for community center as to what we can afford to do this year. But I'll send out the prioritization list that we came up with here to everyone so they can look at it. Anyone has any different opinions, please let us know before we adopt the budget.
Okay. So next time we meet is May 5th,
That's correct.
6:30. Okay, anything else from anyone?
Amen.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys, thank you.
Bye now.